Pisces, thanks for joining me. This is your astrology for February 2016. It's really nice to be with you. Thanks for choosing to watch this video. I'm going to give you a rundown of the astrology for the month and see what's particularly influential and how you can use that to your advantage. Okay, so the first thing here on the 1st of February is that Venus is in Capricorn in your 11th house, and it sextiles Neptune, which is in your sign of Pisces, in your first house. Now Neptune's been in your sign for a long time and will continue to be in your sign for a long time, and that's your ruler, so that's very positive. The fact that Neptune connects with Venus in that 11th house means that at the beginning of February you will feel like you have what it takes, you have the potential, you're on the road to realizing your hopes and dreams, and that things in your life are changing in a positive way, and that things are going smoothly, and I really think you'll have a feeling of, I'm in the right place at the right time. Venus then starts to square Uranus, which is in your second house in Aries, and it does that on the 2nd of February. That will cause you to have more of a focus on how can I take action to realize these hopes and dreams by actually turning it into something practical, like having more career success, which in turn would give me more financial success. Okay, that connection is there until the 11th of February. So from the 2nd until the 11th, you'll start to get a lot of ideas, insights, information about practical things you can do for work. So listen really closely to that and see what comes up, because you'll get useful information which will present itself as very practical, like an ad in a newspaper or a course that will tell you what you can do with it afterwards. Very, very practical guidance. On the 3rd of February, the Moon and Saturn, they start to trine Uranus, and it forms a triangle of harmony with your Sun and your midheaven, which is in Aquarius in your 12th house. This is when the door will open in terms of what path you're going to take when it comes to your career, and the door will open via your intuition and via your internal guidance system. You'll get a message that says, you know, yes, do sign up for the course at the community college because that will lead to A, B, and C, or it will be something that literally presents itself and you just know that it's right. So this is a day of things being revealed to you, okay? On the 4th, there's a grand cross in the sky. A grand cross is when two planets square each other, which is 90 degrees apart, and then there's 4 of them and they form this big square in the sky. And it's too much energy, it's too much motivation, it can frazzle people out, and all the other signs have got it as well in February. But for you, it will draw your attention onto yourself, what you haven't achieved just yet and what you want to achieve, especially in your working life, how you feel about relationships, and those are probably going very well for you at the moment, and also things with your family where you feel very much connected with them. So you'll have all of these different thoughts and ideas going on at the moment. What I would suggest is that you focus on your relationships, because that's where your biggest success and good luck is at the moment, and to some extent also your work. So you've got a choice here, but try and keep it simple on the day, because if you try and do everything, you'll just spin yourself out. The grand crosses can really affect people very negatively and just kind of, they just end up going around like a spinning top. On the 5th of February, there's a T-square in your chart, and that connects Chiron and Jupiter, and then it apexes with your rising sign in your 4th house in Gemini. Okay, so Chiron is in your 1st house itself in your sign of Pisces. Chiron is the part of the chart that's often most difficult and that hurts until it's transformed to become a big strength. Okay, and I think your big strength at the moment is really having empathy and connecting with people in your life, and being very good at relationships and doing the things that are needed of you, and communicating how you feel and listening to other people, and I think that's a big strength that you've got. So that is the biggest sort of success area in this month so far, is family and friends and relationships. That's at the beginning of this month very, very good for you. On the 6th of February, there's a yod in your chart, which is also known as the finger of God, and it connects your Mars and your Venus, and it points towards this rising sign in your 4th house, okay? So really, your biggest focus is on the emotional side of things. You're interested in relationships at the moment. You're interested in working at them, and you're interested in making them better. So that's really what you're concerned with. Being there for other people, and you, like everyone else, is being influenced by this Aquarius sun. And I don't know why, but this year particularly, it's very, very strong. And a lot of people are focused on how can I be of service and how can I help people. And you, being the sensitive sign that you are, you're really picking up on that and you're living it. The new moon occurs in Aquarius on the 8th of February, and that happens in your 12th house of spirituality. Okay? So the new moon is when the sun and the moon conjunct, and the moon is totally black, and it pulls new energy in. It pulls in Aquarian energy, and you are really going to feel the desire to, again, help people in your life, to really make your relationships better, but also to connect with, to build a relationship with something greater than yourself, to become more spiritual, to have a daily spiritual practice, to maybe connect with a positive, benevolent force. And if you, I don't see that you need to do so much research in that. I feel that you already have a sense of that in yourself. And if you look within, either through meditation or yoga or walking meditation or mindfulness or whatever you take or whatever works for you to connect you with your sense of self, that's really going to, you're really going to be able to build a stronger relationship, and that then in turn will have a positive impact on other people in your life. On the 12th of February, Chiron and the Ascendant, they stop having a relationship with each other. They stop quincunxing each other. Okay, so what kind of stops a little bit is this real empathy now for other people and constant and being totally focused on other people and what they need. So you take a little bit of that back and you start to think about your own needs again, which isn't a negative thing. You can't just be focused on other people all the time. On the 13th, the moon moves into Taurus in your 3rd house, and it squares Mercury and Venus. Okay, so moon in Taurus in the 3rd house squares Mercury and Venus in your 11th. And the moon in Taurus is very much, you become very much, oh, this is interesting, you become very much focused on the body language of other people, and you really pick up on that. And you also obviously become, as a result of that, become interested in physical relationships with other people. Whether you're in a relationship, that'll pick up. If you're single, you'll certainly be interested in that side of things. And that's a nice kind of prompt for Valentine's Day, which happens on the next day, the 14th. And Mercury goes into Aquarius on the 14th. And that makes your communication even more spiritual. So it's interesting, and I know this is going to sound super corny and like a major cliche, but you're not so interested in people for... oh, do I want to say it? You're not so interested in people for their appearance and their body. You're more interested, literally, seriously, in them as like these spiritual people who are on the same page as you. So even though I'm reading this, my inner skeptic is saying, yeah, whatever. But really, that's what the astrology says. It says that you're very focused on being of service, being spiritually connected with other people and something higher than yourself. And that's where your communication comes from. Okay. There's also a grand trine in Earth on this day, and a grand trine is an area of ease and talent when you take practical action. That connects your 3rd house moon, your Pluto in your 11th, and your... Okay, so if you take your Jupiter in Virgo in the 7th, so if you take practical actions to solidify relationships, to make them more concrete and serious, so either making a commitment, moving in together, telling someone you love them, that the odds are very much stacked in your favor on the 14th. So you're going to have an amazing Valentine's Day, and if I had to give you a mark out of 10 for romance and relationship and love, you would get a 9 or a 10. because things look really good and your head's in the right place and you're picking up on the spiritual quality of other people. So if someone is kind of giving you a load of hooey that you usually would believe, you're going to really feel connected with yourself and you're not going to believe it. You're going to pick up on stuff. On the 16th, the moon starts to oppose Saturn. And the moon here is in your 4th house in Gemini, and the Saturn is in your 10th in Sagittarius. So there may be a bit of friction between what you're feeling you're doing, what you feel you're doing in your working life and the progress you're making, and some of the stuff you're hearing from your family. So it might surprise you as well, because you had such a good start to the month and you help people so much, and now you're focusing on your things and you're hearing something either negative or something that really just kind of gives you a moment of, oh, okay. And that might be a little bit surprising. Keep focusing on what you're doing. Don't let yourself be derailed by people who just are doing this. You know, a lot of people do this a lot of time. Focus on what you have control over and kind of put that out of your mind. On the 17th of February, Venus goes into Aquarius in the 12th house. So your love for spirituality, for your love for other people grows even more, and you're, by this stage, you're really so forgiving, so kind, so that even if on the 16th someone says something you don't like, you probably won't judge them for it, or won't feel negative. You'll just let it slide on by, because you're very enlightened and very much above all of these things, and that's great. On the 17th, the moon also starts to conjunct the rising sign, and that then squares Jupiter in the North Node. This is another very positive day for romantic relationships and communicating in personal relationships, family and otherwise. So if someone has said something that didn't sit well with you, it's a good day on the 17th to approach that and to confront it. To say, you know, I don't think Susan should work at the animal shelter. I think she's far more gifted. Okay, this is a nice thing to say, but you know, she's far more gifted and she should be a vet. So if that really annoyed you for whatever reason, then you could have a word with that person and say, well, actually, I like working in that job. But that's a nice example. Think of a mean example. Anyway. So it's that kind of thing. Good day to communicate and to resolve issues. On the 19th of February, there's a kite in the sky. And kites are beautiful because they're literally something that can take flight. You know? It's really a symbol of hope, as far as I'm concerned. And this is in water and it's in earth. And what this does is it gives you a sense of, wow, you've got the real cheese pot chart this month, because it reconfirms to you that true love is real. And it is. So, but it just sounds horrible to say it. So true love is possible. You can find it, and it's a real thing. So whether someone does something practical to prove that to you, or whether you discover it in some other way, it's really a beautiful day where it's pure and you see love for what it is, that it's alive and it's like magic and it exists. The 20th of February sees the moon opposing Mercury and Venus, and the moon is in Leo in your 6th house. And this is a day which is very inconsistent with all the other days, because all the other days are about other people, about helping them. On this day, you're really going to be put in the spotlight in your work in some way, and the next day, the 21st as well, and you're really going to achieve something wonderful that other people are going to notice you for. So it could be that, I don't know, you're on a TV show or something, a hidden camera, or at work you've done a project and it turns out really well, and everyone recognizes you for it and applauds you and gives you a bottle of wine or whatever. But you do have some sort of, people focus on you and praise you. And that on the 21st makes you feel wonderful. And it's definitely in regard to your work, because this grand trine on the 21st is in fire, and that has to do with your work. So the success, the social acclaim comes from your working life. On the 22nd of February, the full moon occurs. And the sun that's lighting up that full moon is in your sign in Pisces at this point, okay, by the 22nd of Feb. So your energy shines onto this full moon, and then the moon kind of comes to fruition in Virgo. and it showers planet Earth with its practical Virgo energy. And that's in your 7th house of relationships. And Pisces, you'll notice that in February, you're going to really see some concrete, concise, physical evidence that relationships do work. And I want you to make notes of this, because sometimes life presents itself to us in certain ways and it proves things to us. You know, like if I'm a negative person, then often negative things will happen to me. But if I deliberately and explicitly and even fake it and change my attitude and say I'm going to be positive for 3 days, you'll be surprised at how many positive things you'll see. It's all a matter of perspective. And your perspective here this month is that love is real and it can happen, and you see real evidence and examples of it. So that should give you faith that that's possible. The 24th of February sees the moon conjuncting Jupiter and the North Node, and all in Virgo in your 7th house. Moon, North Node, Jupiter. Again, very positive in terms of feeling at ease in your relationships, feeling like you're achieving what you're meant to achieve in that area of your life, and that you can feel comfortable. You don't need to strive towards anything. So again, the time around Valentine's Day was really brilliant for you. Now, between the 22nd, the full moon, and the 24th, also a really positive time for you in terms of relationships. So again, if you're single, great time to date, great time to meet new people. If you're in a relationship already, great time to explore romance and love. On the 26th, there's a T-square between the moon and Uranus. And the top of the triangle is Pluto in your 11th house. And this is a message, a positive message that you get from someone at work that will give you an idea of what you could do work-wise, especially if you want to be self-employed. You'll get an inspiration on this day, and that could really change your working career seriously in future. So make a note of the 26th of February. If you've always wanted to be self-employed but you have no idea what in, the 26th is a day when information comes in that could change your whole life, because it'll give you the idea that you're looking for. 28th of February sees a grand trine in water occur. Another beautiful day for you in terms of love and relationship and romance, and also caring about people in general. You're like Mother Teresa this month. Really, really open, loving, caring, wonderful day to spend with people who you love, who are near you, who you get to see. And then finally, it's a leap year, 2016, so we've got an extra day here in February. And on the 29th of February, your moon starts to conjunct Mars in your 9th house of education, travel, and expansion. So what that shows me is that now the focus shifts a little bit at the very end of the month, and you may feel the need and the urge to actually go travel, or to learn something new, or to explore new areas. You may feel like, okay, I've done all of this with other people and it's all good, but I really want to get out a little bit and see something else, or experience something new. You'll start to get a wanderlust, and why not, you know? Explore that in March, see if you can go away for a couple of days, maybe go on a trip or something, but the need will definitely be there to actually do that. Okay, so that's what I get for your chart here. This has been a forecast for the entire sign of Pisces. So it's for all the people who were born in that 30-day period. Okay, so obviously there are going to be variations. You know, how many Pisces are there in the world? There are going to be millions and millions. So it's not going to be, the energy isn't going to translate exactly in the way I saw it for you in every instance, but it gives you the main themes, okay? What is much more specific, let me just do my hair there. What's much more specific is your natal chart, because it's based on your place of birth, your date of birth, and even your time of birth, okay? So it gives me a specific rising sign, which changes every hour. That's how specific that's why we need the time. It can be done without the time. You can do sunrise, but if you want the exact rising sign, the specific time is best. And that obviously then really shows me a snapshot of the sky at the moment you were born, and then I put the transits around that and see how these energies particularly influence you. So it's much more kind of tailored and suited to your specific needs. So if you would like any advice or information on your career, or finances, or romance, or love, or family, or spirituality, then please get in touch with me for a reading. The website is gregoryscott.com. Click on the readings tab and you'll see the types of readings that I offer. You can order the readings on the website. Please remember to subscribe to the YouTube channel so these videos actually show up. And I will be with you next month for the monthly forecast for Pisces. And I'm also on the channel for the daily tarot readings. I do little vloggy things as well, just for fun. And I do a bunch of other videos on special events in astrology, so have a look at that if you're interested. I look forward to seeing you again next month. I hope you have a fabulous February, and I'll speak to you soon.